Welcome to episode #73 of the Crynet GenShow. I'm your host, your name. And if you ever doubted that crypto was going mainstream, this week just ended that debate. While the retail markets are still shaking off the recent volatility, the world's biggest financial institutions are making moves that would have been unthinkable just 2 years ago. We're talking about a quiet revolution. This week, the London Stock Exchange Group announced plans for a blockchain-based securities depository. Morgan Stanley didn't just file for a Solana ETF, they filed for one that includes native staking rewards. And Visa, they're officially expanding stablecoin settlements across Ethereum and beyond, proving that the plumbing of global finance is being replaced in real time. From the high-level discussions at Consensus Hong Kong to the launch of Mega ETH, the first real-time blockchain, we are witnessing the birth of a truly institutional on-chain economy. The hoodies are still here, but the suits have officially moved in. Let's break down the top 10 stories of the week.
Okay, so let's unpack that whole suits have moved in idea. Because of the Morgan Stanley news, it just feels different somehow. We've seen ETFs.
But this is a Solana trust, and they're specifically calling out native staking rewards, like 6.5 to almost 8% yield. Why go through that headache? Why not just track the price, like the Bitcoin ones?
Well, because price tracking is passive.
Yeah.
It's kind of boring, institutionally speaking. Without the staking, an ETF like this is basically a savings account that pays zero interest. By including staking, Morgan Stanley turns Solana into a yield-bearing asset. Think of it like a bond that pays a coupon. They're not just betting on the price going up, they're engineering a product that actually captures the network's own inflation. It's a whole different value proposition.
Right, so it's the difference between just holding a gold bar in a vault versus holding a stock that pays you a dividend every quarter.
Exactly. That's a great way to put it.
But while Morgan Stanley is tinkering with yields, the London Stock Exchange Group it seems like they're trying to rewrite the entire rulebook, a blockchain-based securities depository. Is that just a tech upgrade, or is there more to it?
Well, it's much more. It's actually a legal maneuver, first and foremost. They're launching it inside something called the UK's Digital Securities Sandbox. And the reason is, the current securities laws are ancient. They were written decades ago. They literally require delays in settlement.
Seriously, you can't settle instantly.
No, you literally can't under the old rules. This sandbox, it lets the LSEG just bypass all that archaic stuff and use blockchain for what it's actually good at.
Instant, 24/7 settlement.
Exactly.
Okay, that makes so much more sense.
Yeah.
The technology has been ready, but the law was the real bottleneck. And so now that the bottleneck is starting to break, you get players like Visa jumping in, expanding stablecoin settlements on Ethereum.
Right, the lines are they're completely blurring. When a credit card network, a stock exchange, and a public blockchain all use the same settlement rails, they're not really separate industries anymore.
But for that to work everywhere, globally, you need clarity, you need rules.
You do. And the UK just published their massive crypto assets rulebook, but the deadline they set is September 2026.
2026.
Yeah.
That feels like a lifetime away in this space.
Sure.
While London is carefully writing the instruction manual, it feels like other places are just building the car.
And that's the divergence we're seeing. The UK and Europe, they're going for these really comprehensive frameworks. It takes time. But then you contrast that with, say, the UAE. Their central bank just approved the DDSC. It's a dirham-backed stablecoin on the ADI chain. They aren't debating how to regulate it. They're issuing a state-sanctioned one right now.
Right. And then you have Hong Kong, which just packed 15,000 people into Consensus.
Hong Kong is making a very clear play to be the liquidity engine. The whole message there was being the gateway to Asia. They want to be the hub for that cross-border flow. So while the West is sort of deliberating on the how, Asia is really focused on the where.
Okay, let's switch gears to the tech itself, because some of this stuff is wild. Coinbase launched something they're calling agentic wallets. The idea is that they're wallets for AI agents. But I have to ask, why does an AI need a special wallet? Can't I just give my AI assistant, my credit card API?
You could, but it would be incredibly inefficient. Credit cards are designed for humans. They have high fees, they're slow, they have all these fraud checks that would get triggered if an AI tried to make 50 tiny payments in a minute.
Wow, okay.
An AI might need to pay like a fraction of a cent to access a database or sign 1,000 micro contracts. Agentic wallets let them do that peer-to-peer with none of that legacy friction.
But that would require a blockchain that can actually keep up. If the AI has to wait 12 seconds for an Ethereum block to confirm, the whole efficiency is gone.
Which is precisely why the MEGETH launch this week is so important. A just dropped their public testnet, and they're claiming to be the first real-time blockchain. We're talking sub-millisecond latency.
Wow.
If we're really moving toward an economy where machines are paying other machines, you need infrastructure that moves at the speed of a processor, not the speed of a block confirmation.
An economy of machines, that's a lot to think about. But bringing it back to today's market, humans are still the ones hitting the buy button. We saw that nasty flash crash down to 66,000. But Bitcoin just snapped right back to the mid-80s. What happened there?
That bounce was almost entirely institutional buying. Binance Research put out a note showing that while retail traders were, panic selling, the ETF flows were rock steady. The big money was buying the dip. And it fits perfectly with that new PwC report that came out. They used one word that stood out to me: irreversible.
Irreversible.
Yeah. Their thesis is that banks have now embedded this technology so deeply into their core systems that there's no turning back. It's here to stay.
And that's a wrap on episode #73. What a week for infrastructure. When PwC declares that crypto adoption is now irreversible, it's time to stop asking if and start asking how fast. Between Coinbase's new agentic wallets for AI and the UAE's new dirham-backed stablecoin, the tools for a new global economy are being handed to us every single day. The bridge between the London Stock Exchange and the Ethereum mainnet isn't a dream anymore. It's a project with a 2026 delivery date. We are no longer living in the Wild West. We are living in the digital infrastructure era. All the details, the white papers, and the reports from the LSEG and Morgan Stanley are linked in our show notes. If you found this episode valuable, do us a favor. Leave a 5-star review. It helps us keep bringing you the signals to all the noise. Stay focused, stay diversified, and I'll see you in episode #74.